Now we're going to break down, excuse me, this year, we're going to break down the essentials into four basic laws of the body. And those basic laws we're going to break into small parts. Chiropractors have known that the greatest hope in trying to help you function is to help that fluent communication between your brain and your body. To restore fluent communication requires us to have good posture, have good motion, and ultimately to be checked for these subluxations that we find in your body. Subluxations are an effect of an overload of stress that the body could not handle. Stress comes from many, many areas of our body. I would be curious if anyone's willing to type in or unmute their mic, is where do you think stress comes from in our body? You know, what are some of the aspects of our lifestyle that give us stress? Because ultimately, these are what cause subluxation. What are some things that could cause misalignments of our body? What do you think? You can throw some things out there if you like. You could type them in. You could unmute your mic and just tell me. Our thoughts. Wow, Pat, you went right to it, buddy. Good job. He's been here before. Yes, our thoughts. Our thoughts are things. Our thoughts have more effect on our physical body than we realize. Every single tissue, organ, and tissue of our body, system, I should say, tissue, organ, and system of our body have receptors to our emotions, and they're affected by our emotions. An aggressive amount of anger usually stored in our gallbladder. When our gallbladders have too much stress on them, usually get removed, typically in the wintertime. A lot of people have had that happen. So our thoughts are things. Yes, thinking. Thank you, Rhonda. Traumas, of course. I get hit by a car and I get whiplash. I probably put some places of my neck out of place. So those subluxations or misalignments can happen due to aggressive traumas, but also from micro trauma. Micro trauma, what do I mean by that? Well, repetitive work throughout the day. Maybe the same position we sit in, stand in, move in, work in. A repetitive motion, micro trauma throughout the day, can put our posture and our spine into abnormal positions, causing subluxation. So if we can't handle the stressors of that abnormal posture over day, we subluxate. If our thoughts are too aggressive, our emotions too aggressive for our body to handle, we subluxate, we misalign. It's our body's natural reaction to an overwhelming amount of stress. Last thing, just to make sure we're cleaning up the three things, we call it the three T's: traumas, toxins, and thoughts. So toxins being that middle aspect are what we put in our bodies that can be stressful to them. Might be alcohol, cigarettes. We ingest toxins all the time. Our water, our food, our air, I probably don't even know it. Our bodies can remove toxins, but understanding that too many of those, too often, starts to stress our bodies, and we do not live the vitality that we were supposed to. That blueprint we were given is altered when we have subluxations. That ultimately causes advanced aging. So we want to help you anti-age. We want to help slow down that aging process, but we have to work at it. We have to think about it, and we have to learn about it. The essential workshops, a lack of motion, movement. So, thank you. Yes. Lack of motion. Very good. Our bodies are built to move. We have all these joints. So let's jump into it. There are four laws that govern our body. There are three things that cause subluxation. Three main categories are thoughts, traumas, and toxins. And there are four laws that govern our body's function of health and healing. The four laws. Number one is movement. Thank you, Mal. Movement. If we don't move every joint of our body every day in some way or another till it kind of gets tired or fatigued, we're going to start to lose the function of those joints. If you have a sore and achy joint, starting to move into that joint, starting to work that joint, getting focused to that joint gives you healing. Movement. Number one law. Number two law. Nutrition or nourishment. Nourishment is huge. You may be exercising every joint really well, but if you're not eating nutritious food, that is vital and living food and healthy food, our body is starting to be robbed of nutrients that run everything from our minds to our bodies. And those nutrients are very vital to us, and they come from live, fresh foods, not devitalized dead foods that mostly you find in the middle of every grocery store. shop on the outside. That's the law of nutrition. We'll dig into all these separately, just so you all know. The next law would be the law of sanitation. We need to clean our bodies up. Toxins, remember, toxins cause stress. We need to stay clean, just be clean. But we also want to clean up our environments. So the law of sanitation is another law. We have to be clean, let toxins breathe off of our bodies. This may come when people do saunas, bathing regularly, taking care of our hygiene, but also as well as our environments can be need cleaning. The last, and we're going to talk about this tonight, is the law of recuperation. There is no living organism on this planet that doesn't require some rest. Recuperation and rest is the most important element of a healthy lifestyle in a living human being or living organism. If we don't slow our bodies and our minds down, we will get sick. Last week, we talked about the emotion of worry. Worry is responsible for more disease than all the bacteria and viruses combined. And I would say the same could be somewhat true for the lack of recuperation. The lack of recuperation causes us to be sick. Not all the ubiquitous bacteria and viruses that are out there. They're there always. How our bodies fight them and respond to them, we must be following the laws properly in order to fight them off. The most important law tonight we're going to talk about is recuperation. Every human being, every animal must obey this. Never ceasing activity means untimely death. And that is just the truth. There are three components of recuperation. There's rest, there's recreation, and there's sleep. We're going to focus on rest tonight. Rest is different than sleep. Sleep is where we recharge, we reheal, but rest is very important. We need to start to listen to our bodies and our minds. There is a point at which we move and we must cease that movement. Our bodies will fatigue. Our bodies will get tired. I am not against pushing our bodies. I totally love to challenge my physical self. But day to day, week to week, activity can start to really challenge our bodies if we're not giving them a rest. A rest can be as simple as us just changing the activity we're doing for the moment. Maybe a different focus, a different way. Maybe we sit, maybe we stand. Maybe we move when we're doing some thinking. Maybe we exercise or move. But we must rest. The muscular and nervous systems of our bodies need to recuperate. Really, the simple reason is that we get tired. Tired is a signal from our intelligence that activity should cease. Otherwise, harm is being done. So can we push ourselves? Sure. Anyone that might have done a marathon or trained, you're probably tired at some point and you push past that. Does that cause harm? To a certain degree, it does. Actually, there's damage to our muscles when we lift more than we should. And that damage, though, is repaired because our bodies are so intelligent, it repairs it and builds it up for that new challenge. And if we continue to do that, though, we are continuing to challenge our bodies, but our bodies are going to repair. And this is the part of why we want to push ourselves to invigorate our bodies to strengthening. But understanding that if we're constantly breaking it down, then there is no repair. And day-to-day life can constantly break us down. It can constantly start to wear on us if we don't rest. So understanding that harm can be done when we don't listen to our bodies. If we don't rest when we feel tired, greater harm is being done. We should rest when we are conscious of being tired, or as soon as we can after as possible. If your body's feeling run down, if you're feeling like you do need to take that break, that means taking that break. That doesn't mean necessarily just even doing something that seems to be a totally different activity. We need to rest our minds and our bodies. We should rest the entire body or any part that is tired. we should rest by putting the body or any part of that is tired in a position which relaxes it completely. I love zero gravity chairs. Those are some of the best things I think for the back and the spine. They're not that expensive. Those are great ways to just kind of relax, feeling the zero gravity and not put stress on you. Sometimes certain couches aren't going to support you very well if you're just laying on it. There might be certain chairs you go to sit on that are not supporting our spines properly, maybe causing more damage when we lay there or sit there. So I like the zero gravity chair just for relaxation. Um, Exercise is very important. We're going to talk about law of movement as we move along. But we do need to replenish our bodies. I have seen many patients who are working their bodies physically very hard at the gym or for training, but they're not giving adequate rest for recuperation because their lifestyle is very busy. They may have a job that requires a lot of time. They may have different things that can't require them to recuperate. Recovery is just as important as working out. So know that if we overdo or overindulge in physical activity, we deplete our physical strength because we overdraw on a certain energy supply. We have a certain energy supply that's going to be used up one way or the other. And some things that to understand about the adjustments we give you is that when we reset the nervous system and we release some of the tension the body's holding, some of the energy that's set into trying to balance your body because it's extra tight is now released. That's why many of my patients say they have their best sleep after an adjustment. If you want to reset your nervous system and your brain quickly, you get adjusted. One of the best ways to do it. If you continue to tax it and you don't rest, you'll need adjusted quite often. It will help, but we want to teach you better. So overtaxing is very important. I should point this out too. It's not just physical overwork. Our minds, our mental activity can be very overtaxing. We were gifted with the gift of reason. Not many animals, or the only animal that really is. The gift of reason is going to challenge us because we can overtax our brains. Overthinking can cause just as many problems. If we don't have times where we cease mental cognition, concentration, our brains will become useless at some point, and they will not be able to function and think at the level we want them to. The statement that I put on this is that I really love this statement. If we do not rest our minds, then the mind becomes a parasite on the body and the whole organism suffers. The whole organism suffers. Some of these things and quotes we're getting right now, I'm getting from this Rays of the Dawn. We have a couple of copies in our office. If we run out, we'll buy more. They're only about $15. But the Rays of the Dawn is a health handbook to talk about the 4 laws of the body. And then there's 12 laws of the mind and the soul. And those I go over on the 4th Tuesday of the month. As we talk about rest, it's very important to realize that we need to just listen to our bodies. We get adjusted because it helps to reset our bodies. And when we connect our brain and our body together, we have a better chance of listening to our bodies. I can't tell you how many patients are starting off getting adjusted, start to feel new areas of pain or different areas of dysfunction, or are more aware when their posture is getting slouched. It's because your brain and your body are communicating again. If your body has gotten to a point where it's been used to such dysfunction, it's not really communicating that there's something new going on. It's just the same dysfunction. If we start to change that with adjustments, the regularity of the adjustments, then you might start to cue in that some things aren't doing as well as you thought. But that is the beauty of a chiropractic adjustment, is to help you heal yourself from the inside out. Resting is very, very important. So I engage all of you to remember to listen to your body. Remember, there's this instinctive force that we're built with to help us live and to function well, and we need to listen to that. The next couple of laws, we'll go through these throughout the rest of the year, but recreation and sleep are another laws of that recuperation. I'd love to open up to any questions, any concern, any comments about rest, about that law, something that you think might help anyone. Please feel free to ask questions. Maybe there's something specific we can talk about. Mm-hmm. If something comes up, interrupt me. I'm going to end with a small story. It's very easy for me to go nonstop. I I watched my parents who go nonstop. I have the kind of mental capacity that makes me go nonstop. I can usually push through about anything if I'm being challenged to do so. And to slow my mind down might be one of the hardest things for me to do, or my body. Say it's a gift of maybe ADD along with quite a drive, but um, if I don't slow it down, and in the morning sometimes it's just a focused meditation. I use brain tap to do some of that. My body will start to know it, and I'll start to get run down. Now, this recently, as a story of resting, I think this is kind of ironic that I've been challenging my body, go, go, go. I think I did work more than I should have over the weekend. Um, and I know my body pretty well. And I actually even track my sleep and rest with the Aura ring. So I know when my body's heart rate's going a little higher. I know if my temperature is going higher. I know when any part of my biometrics isn't working, even oxygen saturation. I get scored every day. It tells me, hey, did I sleep sound or not? I'm pretty restless in my sleep, and I'm pretty restless in my mind. And I can tell you that my body eventually said that I haven't been listening. And so last week, for the first time in my whole entire life, I could probably say, I was not listening to the laws of recuperation. And my body said, it's time for you to do that. And I had a fever right in the middle of the night. And I was like, okay, I can get through this. Nope. The body said, you're not going to get through it today, tomorrow, either. And there are times that things happen to us that we have to look back and say it wasn't just random chance. There are things that happen in our lives that we have to look back and say, what am I supposed to learn here? And I'm trying to teach you how to listen to your body, but I'm here trying to express to you that I'm learning along with you and that I want better for everyone, not just that's on this line, but everyone that you know. And we need to start to slow things down for ourselves and for our families, for those that we care about. And rest is just one of those things, just trying to listen to our bodies. 10 or 15 minutes of a little meditation, maybe a lunch if you've got it, relaxation, wonderful. You might need to take more breaks throughout your day because those rest breaks might make you even more productive and more efficient. Had I probably been practicing this better, I might not even have been sick. Who knows? But I can tell you that the laws that show up here are things we can't sidestep. We can't have all the knowledge in the head, but don't practice it in real life. So I'm here trying to practice it with you and challenging you that your body is trying to speak to you, but we do need to listen. And before you do much before you get up out of bed, listen to it. Just do a little scan. Take some deep breaths and just scan through your body. Listen to your body. Slow your body down. The more we can slow it down and rest, the more we have a chance to then ramp up when we need to. My hope and prayer is that you guys on this line, want to dig more into this, can get the book, you can follow along with us, that you start to take a little bit more attention to what your body's telling you each day. And from there, you can start to listen to the broader and more important things of what we need to do.